in our despair are the seeds of our hope. And to actually plant those seeds of hope and possibility, we have to take action. I lost 2 people that I loved, and their dying helped me be with life and with death in a totally new way. They gave me a different way of seeing and relating to our ecological crisis and the climate crisis that we're all facing. So I think one of the biggest challenges at this time in the world is learning how to hold both. Accept and face the destruction and the loss. Learn to grapple with our possible end as a species, and at the same time really embrace our lives. And in doing so, to try and contribute to our world. So I took a workshop on learning how to make fire without matches several years ago with my really dear friend Brittany, and I did that because I was concerned about the end of the world, and I still am. And at the time my thinking was that, oh well, if I learn how to make fire without matches, I can survive in the winter and I can take care of the people around me. Fire has been this really powerful teacher. And so what I learned was that the tiniest of embers can be enough to start a blazing fire. So I'm reminded being out here how small my life is and how big my life is at the same time, or how big it can be. An idea, a dream of mine can start as a little seed and grow into a sapling and become this big, beautiful tree, and that our lives can hold that kind of potential. So come on over here. I'd like to show you something. So I wanted to bring you out here because this spot reminds me of life and death. It really brings me back to this place of presence, knowing that our lives are short, knowing that our lives are precious, knowing that we go back to the earth, and knowing that in that process, something new and precious can grow. I know that it can be heavy and really intense to meet death and to try and find the courage to confront the possibilities of ecological collapse and mass extinction. And that's why I think it's so important that we take care of ourselves, that we slow down, that we go outside, that we breathe and just take a moment to connect with Mother Earth and the waters and the trees and the life around us. And it doesn't matter if we're in the city or if we're in the wilderness. I think what's important is connecting with life, this life energy that flows through all of us, because it's this energy that we need to sustain ourselves. In the process of learning to work with fire, it's also been a reminder for me of how important it is to tend the inner fire in our hearts. That in the same way, we can't just light a match or just take a burning coal and throw it into a pile of wood and expect it to be blazing. We also can't expect ourselves to, without care and ongoing attention and support, we can't expect ourselves to bring our best into the world. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen next year or in 10 years. And that doesn't stop us from appreciating what we have. It doesn't stop us from being kind to a stranger. All of this can be so daunting and so overwhelming. And I think it's important to give ourselves the space to grieve. Wow, it's hard giving words to these feelings sometimes. So when I have a really hard time, and when I'm wondering, what can I do? And maybe I'm too small and that there's nothing I can do, I really try and be gentle with myself. I start by being gentle with myself and just taking a breath, trying to be present here in this moment, and then trying to focus on what I can do today. That means through the food that we eat and the things that we buy and the way that we move around in the world. And whether that's in our gardens by making compost, whether that's by saving seeds and sharing seeds, whether that's by supporting the children in our lives in learning how to be caring and thoughtful and responsible people that can live their lives while taking care of everything around them. It was such a great experience working with the bow drill, not because I learned it quickly, because I didn't. It was really because it showed me how easy it was to want to stop trying and just admit defeat and walk away from all of it. That weekend, what I took away from that workshop was the reminder that something that's important to me, it's worth the effort. By being present in my life, being present today and in this moment, and by being grateful for what I have, it's in these places that I can make a difference to myself and to the people and the places around me. Fire is so much about safety and survival. It's also about warmth and comfort and being together as a family and community. That's where my heart is, in serving the communities of life around us that don't necessarily have the voice and the hands and the feet to go out there and protect themselves, learning to cultivate possibilities within that loss. Despite that loss, because of that loss. The scale of this crisis asks all of us to engage and to live differently. This is about the places we love and the people we love. Any step is a good first step. And if you don't know what that first step is, reach out to like-minded, like-hearted people to build community where you are. For me, it's not a passive hope. It's not about simply imagining that the world can be a better place and being positive about that. And it's not just about environmentalists and gardeners. It's for parents, and it's for children, and it's for teachers. Even though I don't know the impact I may have, I can still know that I chose to live well, to love well, that I gave everything possible with every day and with every breath. Bring your gifts to the world. Tend the embers that you carry. Tend the fires in your life. And know that every effort that you make is precious and valuable and worth it. I really hope you'll continue the important work that you're doing in the world. I hope that you'll find moments of joy and beauty every day to help sustain you. And if you're looking for more inspiration and more support, then I invite you to check out my book, Embers of Hope, Embracing Life in an Age of Ecological Destruction and Climate Chaos.